So just how do you respond to toxic positivity? You know, someone who is always unicorns and rainbows the whole time. Hi, my name's Christine L. Conroy. Welcome to Happy Stuff and Fluff, a channel for women who are getting happy, living longer and growing younger. But that does not mean only positive vibes here or Pollyanna positivity all the time. No. Positive psychology really has nothing to do with this conversation, in as much as positive psychology is the study of human optimal functioning, the study of human wellness, if you like, or mental wellness as opposed to mental illness. I've talked about this in a video before, and I'll leave a link to that below in the description. So this is part 2 of toxic positivity, and it's a requested video. I'll leave the first link also in the description box. Please go back to watch that, because I talk more about what toxic positivity actually is. I think we all know what it is by now, but give some examples and so on. However, what I didn't cover in that video, usually when I'm talking about toxic positivity, then I'm talking about helping you to help someone else who may be struggling, and about how to talk to yourself if you are struggling. So if we use phrases that toxic positivity describes, so you know, things like when people say to you, oh, you just have to be positive, or don't be so negative all the time, or things will be fine, or don't worry about it, everything's going to be okay. It's those kind of things. Now, well-intentioned though they may be, they can cause havoc. And as I say, I've talked about that in the first video. Well, what I want to talk about here, just briefly, is what happens when you're the one struggling and someone else is using that kind of toxic positive language with you. Okay, so the thing is, 9 times out of 10, that kind of conversation, it comes from a good place, in terms of they may be in some kind of clumsy way trying to be compassionate with you, and they just don't know what to say, or they don't know how to acknowledge feelings, or even talking about negative feelings makes them feel uncomfortable and they don't want to go there. Okay, so you can understand that behaviour doesn't make you feel so good if you're on the receiving end of it. And I know that from personal experience. If you are new here and you don't know, I've lost my mum. I always say I lost the 3 most important women in my life: my mum, my sister, and 2 years ago my daughter died at the age of 32 from cancer. My sister was only 46 when she passed away, and my mum was 70. And so dealing with all of that, you can imagine people didn't know how to deal with us, and some people said the most outrageous things, but we're not talking about that here. We're talking about people who kind of want to help but don't really know what to say or how to say it. And so if you go to open up to someone, if you say to someone, oh, I'm feeling really sad, I'm feeling really down, and you have honoured them, I think, with that you trust them, you are opening up to them, only to have them say, oh, don't be silly, everything's going to be fine, you'll be fine. Okay, so when you're in that really struggling, vulnerable place, and someone responds to you like that, it's like hitting up against a brick wall. I'm speaking personally here. It's like you're hitting up against a brick wall, and it kind of shocks you, and it makes you feel, right, okay, back off, I'm not going to say any more. And so they shut you down. You're kind of just shut down, because there's no way you're going to continue that conversation. It's very sad. It's sad for you, but it's also sad for them, because they are inadequate in dealing with negative feelings. They possibly even can't deal with their own negativity. So there's that to consider as well. But of course, when you're in that vulnerable position, feeling that way yourself, you're not thinking about them. You're asking them for help. And as I say, you hit a brick wall. The thing you have to do, you have to teach people how to treat you. You have to ask them for what you need. I know it's unfortunate that you need to think this way, but we're not all, brilliant at being able to say the right thing all the time. Me included. So if you get guidance from the person you are trying to help, then of course it helps the situation. Now you can do that. I could do that by giving you sentences that I said. I'll tell you why that works. If in the moment you remember just something, a sentence, I'll give you some examples in a second, that opens up the conversation a little bit more and helps the other person to then think, oh right, okay, and they're happy or feel more relaxed that you've given them that guidance, that they can now say something that could genuinely help you. We are of course giving people the benefit of the doubt that they do genuinely want to help you, and they're not just thinking, oh, here we go again, this person is so negative, and off they go. Of course there are people, this is the problem, there are some people who are very negative and pessimistic people. We're not talking about that now. We're talking about when you're struggling with something, you go to someone for help and all you get is this toxic positivity back. So a couple of things that I learned to say that worked really well for me. One of them is, would you mind if I just talk out my feelings to you? I don't need you to say anything. I just want to talk my feelings out to you. Would that be okay? Yes, of course it would. Go ahead. Okay? And then you start, and then conversation comes after that. Another one, because people want to go straight from the problem to the fix. They feel this is a problem. In order to help this person, I need to fix it. And so because they can't really think about how to fix it, that's when they struggle. And so simply by saying to them, can I talk to you? I don't need you to fix anything. I don't really need any advice. All I want, I think, is just to hear my own thoughts out loud. Would you mind if I talk to you in that sense? Okay, that's another one. The one I found myself saying the most was when people say, oh, Christine, you can't think that way. You've got to be positive. Then I would say, well, I will hopefully get to positive, but I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. And this is what I need to talk about. Oh, thanks for that. I know I am generally a positive person and I will hopefully get to positive, but I'm not there yet. That's the one I heard myself saying a lot of the time. Another one is, can you just help me work through my options? Or can you just help me work through the options here of whatever the situation is? Of course, with me, it was either my mum, my sister or my daughter who were ill and the negative outcomes of that. Can you help me work through my thoughts? Because sometimes, as I've said this to you before, getting your thoughts or even hearing your thoughts out loud makes you realise how incorrect your thoughts actually are, and just speaking out loud can help. So when you've done that, that's what you must say to the person. That really helped me, thank you. Just hearing what I was thinking out loud has made things clearer for me. Okay, now I'm not suggesting that it's your job to make them feel better, but they will feel better if they think they've helped you in some way. Another one is just to say, can you help me? I just need a sounding board. Say it like that. Or yeah, I know I might be being a little bit negative. Can you just help me? I need a sounding board to get through that. Conversation openers. Another one I used to say quite a bit was, I am feeling sad or upset, or I'm feeling fearful and I just need help to work through it or to work through those feelings. So you are saying what you're feeling. I am feeling sad, angry, upset, scared, whatever, and I need to help to work through those feelings. Or I'm sad and upset and I need to figure out why. These are all things that you say to someone who's drowning you with toxic positivity. Now, it's up to you to decide, because quite a few people who shut me down in that way, I never went back to them for help again. I never went back to them for help. And that, of course, didn't do much for the relationship. That's your choice. You have to think about that. Do they become a different tier of friend, as we used to call it? So Mr. Kitchen and I, you know your friends and you know which people can deal with certain things. And we actually found ourselves, if someone was walking towards us, we'd actually find ourselves saying A or B about the person. If they ask us what's happening, do we tell them the whole, full, horrible story, or do we just give them the outline? I know, crazy that you would, that we felt the need to do that, because our situation was so ongoing, for a long time. We found ourselves in a place doing that. Do I really want to tell this person the whole story, or just give them the outline, or do I want to actually spend time with this person and talk to them properly about it? That's your choice. But those sentences that I've just given you there, I think are ones that open up for them conversation, so that they can say something that's going to help you. Okay, give me a thumbs up if any of that's helped you, please. And if you haven't yet subscribed, I would really appreciate it. I mean, really appreciate it if you subscribe, because it does help the video and the channel to reach more people. Okay, so I'm going to be doing some more requested videos coming up. They're sometimes as a response of videos that I've done in the past, questions that have come up about that. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about fear of aging. I'm going to be talking about relationships. There's quite a few actually, good juicy subjects to talk about to increase our wellness and optimal functioning, so that we are getting happy, living longer and growing younger. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.